Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here is her story. Hi, Ollie. Hope you are all well. I am sending my story with PayPal donation. I wish to remain anonymous. My sister and I discovered together that both our parents are narcissistic, that our upbringing was not normal, and that the way we were treated has scarred us for life in so many ways. We have both gone no contact with our parents. It's such a mess, it's impossible to be concise. Our mother is an aggressive, manipulative, smug, horrible cunt of a woman who also exhibits strong signs of autism. I believe she is aware of the autism. It is all over her family, and I'm pretty sure I'm autistic too. But that has never been addressed. She is a master projector, and she calls people Asperger's in a derisive way as if she doesn't like their behavior. That's how she tells her truth. She's an open book and gives everything away by accusing others of her own intentions and behaviors, even when no one is asking. Somebody probably told her she has Asperger's or autism, but in my opinion, she probably just has extreme narcissism, which gets confused. Discovering our dad's narcissism was a punch in the guts. He always played the good guy, was always nice to us, sweet, caring, life and soul of the party guy. The more my sister and I discuss our situation, the more it is revealed that he is in fact the wolf in the house. When we look back on how we dealt with things, it's so obvious that neither of them have empathy and neither of them care about us at all. They now work as a one narcissistic unit. He let our mother terrorize us emotionally, psychologically, and sometimes physically. He never once intervened. He also gave himself away in his funny comments. When our mother complained that my sister wasn't answering her texts, he chimed in joking, "She always answers me." It got a laugh at the time, but not so much now. It appears now that he is possibly the one behind the abuse, provoking our severely damaged mother to abuse us while he got all the adoration of his daughters, and everyone thinks he's such a wonderful father. Our mother has fallen out with all her siblings and her mother when she was alive, and it was all to do with them criticizing her parenting or that they didn't like our father. I never understood why they didn't like my dad until this year, when my sister and I woke up. I am pretty sure I have repressed memories. Things are coming back slowly as we talk about it. As a little kid, I remember wishing I were a boy and pretending to be one, trying to convince everyone else that I was a boy. I begged to have my hair cut short like a boy. I wanted boys' toys. All my friends were boys. I was just a tomboy, right? I don't think so. I think there's something behind that. Yeah, probably your mother had two girls. You're saying she has this narcissistic Asperger's autism thing and probably makes everything about her. In her mind, the ultimate thing to have is a son. So you were probably picking up on that and trying to make yourself into a boy to make your mother happy. I was about 12 when I started shaking off the masculinity and being a girl. This didn't seem odd to me until we heard a story from a former neighbor. They lived across the road from us for a few years. The story goes, when the neighbors had their baby boy, our dad would go out and visit them every day, take the baby out of the room and walk him up and down the hallway. This went on to a point where the baby's dad knocked on our door one day and asked him to stop calling over and saying that his behavior was inappropriate. I have a vague memory of him at the door and my mother freaking out. There is just my sister and I in our family, no brothers, and it was always apparent to me that Dad wished he had a boy. When our aunt, Dad's sister, had her youngest boy, he became godfather to him. He doted on him, visited him often, brought him cool toys for his birthday and Christmas, spent spare time with him. He never did any of that for us, his own daughters. He has never shown an ounce of interest in us as people. We never got to know him, and he doesn't know us. We're just part of his image. Okay, so it was your father who wanted the boy, a lot like Charlene's father. who had two boys who turned into just little mushmouth mamaus and didn't want to play any sports, didn't want to play baseball with him, didn't want to throw the ball around. Charlene would beg her father to play with her, and he just wouldn't. So you were obviously trying to be more of a boy for your father, who obviously has an unhealthy obsession with having a son. My sister, who has two kids now, a boy who's 3 years old and a baby girl who's 9 months old, she recently told me about something that was bothering her, but she couldn't be sure about it. When our dad was still allowed to visit her kids, he had little to no interest in the baby girl, as cute as adorable as she is. He would go straight to the little boy and play with him the whole time, and barely any interaction with my sister or her partner. Then he started trying to get out of my sister's sight with the child. Oh, my mother would try that with Aaron. Oh, they would always try to get out of our sight with Aaron. He would take him to another room or out to the garden or round a corner. He didn't like my sister watching him. She followed him as subtly as she could, making small talk with the child and not giving away her suspicion. On that same day, the child is being toilet trained, so he asked his mom to take him to the bathroom. Our dad immediately jumped in, offering to take him instead. My sister was not feeling comfortable at this point and politely insisted that only she or the boy's dad take him to the toilet, and they're teaching their child about his own privacy and boundaries. Our dad reacted angrily to this. We're not allowed to have boundaries or privacy. She took the kid upstairs to the bathroom, but our dad followed her and stood in the bathroom while the child peed. My jaw dropped when she told me this. I don't know who this man I call dad is. She also told me that on another occasion he followed her upstairs and watched while she changed her baby's nappy, which freaked her out. It's like a power thing. He must dominate every situation just like our mother does. She followed me around the house all day when I lived there, asserting her ownership of the house and of me. After this stressful visit, as our dad was leaving, he was butthurt, I guess. He asked my sister to attend their therapy sessions with them. He played the hero in getting our crazy-ass mother to go to therapy. Turns out it was family therapy, and it was no way meant to look at either of their problems. Just a way to bitch slap us into submitting to their abuse again. What is going on in the UK with family therapy? This is the second one I've gotten in as many days. What is this? This is family therapy bullshit where nobody actually gets blamed for their behavior. No wonder Europe is, I get so many European letters. No, if this is what therapy is becoming in UK, in Europe, no wonder. Holy shit. More cookie therapy. Participation ribbon therapy. Naturally, my sister said, no way, I'm not getting sucked into the dangerous den. It's just a manipulation. His reply was, no, it's not a manipulation, it's a warning. My sister ushered him out the door and closed it without responding. A warning of what? We never found out. They love making grand threats. You know that. That's when our dad stopped visiting his grandkids and stopped bothering us. I reckon he knew that we found out some of his past and that my sister was watching him with her child. My sister also recalled a remark my dad made when she was a teenager. They were in the kitchen with the radio on. It was at the time when the whole kitty fiddling clergy scandal in Ireland, oh, you're in Ireland was at its peak, and they were discussing it on the radio. This is what our dad said to my sister, a joke. You know how to toilet train a little boy? You tittle his willy. She said that made her squirm at the time, but she just let it go. There's no way to hear that from a grown man. That isn't creepy as fuck. Especially in an Irish accent. There's nothing worse than an Irish guy pissing and moaning. Oh my God, are they the worst? Oh, when they bitch and moan, these Irish, I can imagine when he grandstand and following you around like a fucking child. Ugh. Our dad came from a family with a lot of children. I mean, Duger level. Well, Irish Catholic in Ireland, I can imagine. I didn't know my grandparents very well, but I know that my grandfather was a devout Catholic, even joined the Franciscan monks after my grandmother died. My grandmother had a stroke in her 40s and lost use of one arm as a result. She still continued to fire out more kids after this. Who fucking still has kids after having a goddamn stroke? Irish Catholics do. Make as little Catholics as possible. That's all the Catholic Church wants, for money, money, money. My father was one of the younger group who was born after her stroke. Wonderful. I'm sure they had little to no parenting from the older girls who were made to take care of them and do all the housework. Our dad told me how he loved to brush the girls' hair and help them with their clothes and stuff. It's hard to say if he's a repressed homosexual, that was going to be my next one, or if his boundaries are just total fucked up and his normal could be anything. His siblings are very touchy-feely with each other to the point of being flirty. The girls sit on their brothers' laps at family gatherings. It's weird. It is weird. It is weird. You know, this is what those sex scandals in the Catholic Church, especially in Europe and Ireland, and this was about conditioning these type of fucking pedophiles, this is what happened. And your father being born after a stroke with no probably real man in the house, being raised by his older sisters, no wonder he has an unhealthy fascination with sons. No wonder. I'm realizing lately that the way our dad tries to be affectionate with us is unpleasant for a good reason. We were not loved as children. We had zero affection from our mother, and she shamed us if we ever tried to express love or affection in any way. There was no hugs or any touching. So when I am older and my dad suddenly starts hugging me, it feels wrong. I thought it was just because the way my dad hugged me and that he slapped my ass as I was leaving. I understand the feeling, because as sexually grabby as my mother was, she was still a cold, unemotional bitch. Otherwise, not unemotional, violent, but cold. When she would sneak into your room or grab you while you're passing, coming out of that, it would come out of nowhere. It was like these fucking sneak attacks. So then when you get older and she tries to be loving, as like, you just don't buy it. It's just like, don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Don't even look at me. Don't even say my name. Any of my names. I kind of remember him being handsy and just pulling away from him quickly. I just saw it as him being extremely immature and inappropriate because he is very childlike sometimes. He doesn't understand what is wrong with his behavior, and I ignored my creeped out feelings. My mother made so many remarks to my sister and I about how he was always saying inappropriate things and how he and his family was so touchy-feely and the brothers are all chauvinistic. I saw it as her being jealous of him, which she was. She loved dumping her baggage on us kids, so we had the choice of a nasty, aggressive bitch mother or a nice guy act from a childish, inappropriate father. They have managed to isolate us from all other family over the years, and we have nobody looking out for us. Now they're trying to use extended family as leverage to lure us back in. Mother seems to think that if we have a friendship with any extended family, it has to be through her. There's so much more to tell about all the things our mother did. Right now, I am confused as what the fuck is wrong with my dad. Is he a creep for little kids, or is he just a kid himself? Boundaryless and unaware? Did he pick my mother because she was so obviously vulnerable and damaged and easy to manipulate? It's so horrible looking back the way he was with us with this new information. It makes my skin crawl. Thanks for reading, Ollie, and thank you for your videos. It's good to know there's a community of people who understand this invisible abuse, and we can help each other. Anonymous. Okay, so you want to know who your father is? Your father is someone who... Look, in reality, your father probably never should even have been born, to be honest. Not to say that cruelly, but who the fuck continues to have children in their 40s after a stroke? Okay, put the stroke aside, just having kids in your 40s is dangerous. You know, they have learning disabilities, impulse issues. So right there, I mean, that could be part of it, where he's dangerous. You throw in the extreme Irish Catholicism, and the no real maternal supervision, being raised by his sisters, and they're all on top of each other, grabbing ass anyway. Do you really need to understand why? You understand it's a problem, and I don't think you'll ever be able to change it. Your mother wants to control your access to the family, make it through her. My question is, why do you even want access to any of them? You and your sister were smart enough to figure this out and start pulling away. Continue the job. Okay? And don't look back. You know, there are so many things going on with your father and his past, and you know, the constant need for control, and yeah, did he pick your mother because of who she was? She's vulnerable and damaged and easy to manipulate. Partly, and plus partly he can hide behind her crazy. He can hide behind her aggressiveness. He can make himself always look to be the good guy, the sane guy, the fun guy. Oh, cut him some slack. Look what he's married to. It's the same thing my father does. The same thing. In the meantime, he's standing in the window, fucking jacking his dick, watching all the neighbors' wives. That's what's going on. Just a pervert. Just a pervert. And your father would probably stick his dick in anybody or anything that would let him. It's just what he's about. So... thank you so much for your contribution and story. I hope this helps. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just sponsor the channel in general, help it grow, expand, succeed, pay the bills, keep the lights on, because this channel is still funded 100% by contributions from all of you. So you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.